What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Now, this episode is probably for the girls. I've got 3 relationship-based stories in this one that are all relatively similar. The first, though, is exceptionally important, and it's the first for a reason. I need you all to listen to this one. Sit back, relax, let's get straight into it. Tomorrow, I am ending it with my abusive boyfriend of 4.5 years, and I'm out of my mind. Can the female hive mind of Reddit please just tell me it will be okay? This was originally posted on November the 2nd, 2025. It's all safely planned. Meeting in a public place. A friend waiting nearby with transport. Landlord coming to change the locks. Got a long-term therapist. Distant family, but a good support network of friends who are gathering round hard. Ella Fitzgerald's Let No Man Write My Epitaph has been playing on repeat all day. It feels strange and unsafe, but not wrong. So much more than so many women who are or have been in my situation, and yet I can't breathe. I'm scared of his reaction or reactions, but I plan for most of them. I'm scared he's going to twist my head and heart until I can't remember who I am or what I need to say, and he'll get his way like he always does. I'm scared of what it's going to be like on the other side. Can someone please just tell me it will be okay? Alright, let's jump straight into the comments. Somebody said, it will be okay. You've made good plans. It will be okay. You have good people to help. It will be okay. Don't listen to anything he says. It will be okay. Somebody replied to this saying, I'm actually hijacking this comment to say you absolutely do not have to actually meet him in person to end things. Please do not do so out of some sense of social politeness or obligation. You owe him nothing. Someone else said, if you feel physically or emotionally endangered meeting with him, you don't have to meet with him. Oftentimes, the situation calls for the perpetrator to find out after the victim has left or put their stuff outside. Remember, you don't need his approval. Victims often get stuck because they try to get their abuser's approval for their leaving. It's not on you to soothe him. You each take care of yourselves. Best of luck. You got this. Actually, very good advice. And someone else said, yeah, honey, you don't need to meet him to end things. Send him a text and be gone forever. You can do it. Please update us. This, please post again tomorrow and the next day and the next day, just to say I'm still here and it's okay. And then finally, somebody said, the most dangerous thing you can do is give him another chance. Yeah, great advice there. I know the first comment was a good one, saying it will be okay, but maybe the best advice was to say, you don't need to meet him at all. Just text him saying it's over, and that'll do. Now, sometime in the next 12-ish hours, we got this update. I've just woken up to what feels like half the women in the world behind me, and I can't even begin to describe how much this means. I'm reading through every single comment, and I can feel each one wrapping around my heart like armor. Thank you so much for every single word of kindness and support. The honesty is overwhelming. What a testament to both the primal courage of women and the depth and width of this frickin' problem. To those expressing valid concern about my meeting him in person, I fully understand, but there are some practical reasons for this, and it's been assessed as safe by the professionals involved. And then the next day, we got the following update. The girl did good. She's exhausted, but safe at home and okay. I got there 30 minutes early, got a coffee, picked a spot well covered by CCTV, and grounded myself in every thoughtful and generous comment here, and the care of everyone who took the time to respond. I'm so grateful. My friend flashed the headlights. The staff member I'd forewarned gave me a nod. The travel-sized deodorant sat in my pocket, ready to meet some eyeballs. I didn't need any of it. This conversation was mine, long overdue, and with the force of a runaway train. The plan was followed, and what I needed to say, which I've feared saying for so long, came so clearly and easily because every word felt like it came from all the women before me and around me. So thanks for that. It was everything I thought I could never do. I was clear, I was calm, I handed back anything he tried to land on me. I was in control, and there was a surprising amount of honesty and listening on his part once he realised I would not afford space for any debate. I've drawn the lines that needed to be drawn, and boy oh boy did it hurt, but it hurt good. I'm not foolish enough to believe he'll accept this completely and immediately. I'm on guard and will continue to be cautious and think of safety at all times. I will continue to rely on all my support. There'll be no contact now. What he says, feels, or thinks from here, that belongs to him. I belong to me and nobody else. It feels strange and scary, but it still feels right. If anyone ended up here because this experience is also yours, ask for help. Start small, but start somewhere. You're not trapped by them, but by the fear they wield. weaponized in tiny and big and brief and endless ways to warp your sense of self and your world until both feel completely unrecognizable, just so that you don't realize what I and so many people who shared stories here have. The cage you feel around you is in fact made of glass, and you can, carefully and safely, smash that down. The rest is just problem solving. Thank you. Well, there we go. A very powerful story to start this episode, and now I'm sure you can understand why I wanted to bring it to you. It's not really for me to give my comments on, I think. It's probably more for you guys in the comments to get involved. And if you are in this situation, use the comment section here as a safe space to really, get some advice. Because I know that the audience listening and watching to this right now, you guys are like elite and you're extremely helpful. You've got a lot of experience. You're very respectful. You're great at giving advice. So if you are struggling with something like this, I think now is the time. Get in the comments down below, read through them. There'll be a lot of them because you guys are amazing at dropping phenomenal bombs of wisdom. It's pretty ridiculous, to be fair. Sometimes I read the comments and I'm like, why am I the one that's doing these and giving my thoughts? It should be you guys. But as a collective, it's very impressive a lot of the time when I read the comments. So yeah, this is why I wanted to bring this story to you guys first, so you guys can get involved as well. Tell your stories in the comments down below, give some help, and vent out anything that's going on in your life. Anyway, 2 more stories to come. Let's get into the second. I am a 21-year-old woman, and I've got a new boyfriend who is 24. His male friends tested me, and I passed. Is this as weird as I think it is? Now, the first post for this one came back in November of 2015. A high relationship subreddit. I need some outside perspective here on a small but weird problem. I've been dating this guy, Sam, for about 3 months now. Just recently made it official, and I met his friends on Thursday. Sam's awesome, and his friends seem awesome too, or so I thought. We were all hanging out, playing games, watching Netflix, etc. on Thursday after having come back from the local bar. It was a good time and we were all having fun. Then Sam left the room, and his friends almost immediately started talking badly about him. They were ragging on his appearance, calling him a loser, etc., and it made me very uncomfortable. They tried to get me to join in, and I kept brushing them off. They persisted, so I finally told them to knock it off and informed them that I'd be telling Sam all of this. They got quiet, and then Sam came back, and they tried to go back to just hanging out. I was so annoyed that I said I was going to bed and went to Sam's room. Sam came in about half an hour later and asked me if everything was okay. I told him that his friends were talking terribly about him, and it annoyed me. I said that I know I had no right to tell him who to be friends with, but I think he should ditch them. And then he did something that totally threw me off. He grinned. I asked him what he was smiling about, and that is when he told me the following. Apparently, they do this with every girl Sam meets to test her and see if she'll talk trash about him behind his back. If she does, he dumps her. If not, hooray! Sam's in on it and says it's pretty harmless. He says I'm the first girl to have told him about what happened, which means I'm the best? I'm inclined to agree that it's harmless, but I find it weird. Am I right in thinking this is strange? Is this something normal? Do all guys do this? Just need some perspective. Thanks. Okay, I think I've got to come in on this as a guy and say, no one does this. This is not normal. At least no one I know does this. What a weird test. The test itself, which by the way does exist, is just your girlfriend or the person you're seeing meeting your friends and seeing how they are with them, because maybe they're really weird, and then that's a test in and of itself. And your friends need to be able to be friends with the person you're seeing, right? That's like the test. It's not really like a formal test, it's just your girlfriend meeting your friends. It's a pretty normal thing, and seeing how that interaction is, I don't know, seeing they're not like completely socially inept, I suppose, or weird, who knows, right? It's not really a test, as I've said. This though is like a formal test, setting something up to gauge somebody's reaction is strange, very strange. Like, you shouldn't need to do this. You should have enough trust in the person anyway to back them into doing something like this. Like, it's just weird. I would hope that the person that I was with, if my friends genuinely did this behind my back to them, would tell me. And I think I should be able to gauge if the person I'm with would do that or not. I wouldn't need to do some weird test like this to work that out. Yeah, very odd from my point of view. I mean, if I were you, OP, I'd be really questioning this behavior because it is ultimately extremely strange. What does that say about Sam and his friends outside of this? I don't know. Are there going to be more tests in future? Are you going to feel like you can't really ever trust what's going on in this friendship group? If that is the case, I wouldn't blame you. Let's see what the people of Reddit said before we jump into the update for this one. All right, someone said, your boyfriend still has a lot of growing up to do. This is high school level stuff. You need to decide if you want to date a child or do you want to move on and find a real man. Someone else said, well, you may have passed his test, but he sure as heck failed yours. Yeah, good point. Why would you want to be with someone who's going to set you up like that? Exactly. And then finally someone said, yeah, you may have passed, but Sam and his friends failed. Setting people up in uncomfortable and made up positions is not only mean and childish, but it's also unrealistic and pointless. You don't lie to people to gain the truth. Your mileage may vary, but I'd be moving on from people who feel the need to manipulate me and put me through stress for their own benefit and amusement. Couldn't agree more. I mean, I'm trying to gauge it from Sam's perspective. You would want the person you're with in this situation to speak up and tell you what happened and what your friends were saying about you. But it's just like, do you need to run this weird simulation to find that out? Again, I think you should just be able to gauge from your own interactions with the girl that you're seeing that they would do this. You don't need it to actually play out in real life. For example, if you were bleeding out to death, would your girlfriend call the police or call an ambulance? I mean, that's just ridiculous. But you know what I mean? Like, you don't need that simulation. You don't actually need to do that or fake that. Like, imagine you fake falling down the stairs and you pour ketchup everywhere and say, Amanda, I've fallen down the stairs. Please help me, I'm dying. And then you can judge at that point, are they going to call an ambulance or not, and just laugh at you. I mean, that is actually very far-fetched from me, but is it totally tangential? I don't think it is. I actually think that has a reason what I've just said there, even though it is ridiculous, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, into the update that came the next day. OP says, hello again. Wow, my post blew up yesterday. Thank you everyone for the advice. Sorry I didn't respond to anyone. I posted it while on my break at work, so I had no time to do so. I thoroughly appreciate all of you taking time to comment. You're all radiant unicorn moonbeams and you're awesome. Everyone pretty much unanimously said that A, Sam is a D, and B, dump the D. This confirmed my suspicions, but I figured I'd talk to Sam about it anyway, just to give him the benefit of the doubt because I'm nice like that. Well, long story short, A, Sam really and truly is a D, and B, the D has been dumped. The conversation lasted all of 5 minutes before he started getting defensive. The climax was him calling me a female dog for not being grateful that I'd passed this stupid test. At that point, I just said, yeah, it's over. I may have passed your test, but you failed mine. Thank you, one Reddit user, for that line. And I walked away. He tried to blow up my phone, but I nipped that in the bud by blocking him. So yeah, thanks everybody for helping me dodge a massive bullet bill-sized bullet. Much appreciated. You guys are all a bunch of beautiful sunlit diamonds. Wow, can I just say, being called a radiant unicorn moonbeam and a beautiful sunlit diamond within a couple of paragraphs has really boosted my self-esteem. Thank you, OP. The top comment here on this entire thing is, you don't lie to people to gain the truth. And I think that is a very, very apt comment and a good way to sum this up. There are better ways of working out what someone's like than giving them these stupid tests. Anyway, let's get into our final story of this episode. My boyfriend, a 28-year-old, faked a proposal to me, a 24-year-old woman, for his friend's prank video. I'm devastated. I'm using a throwaway post for this one. I'm sorry, but I'm shaking and still upset, and I really don't know what to do anymore. I cannot deal with my boyfriend anymore. By the way, this was posted back in 2015. Me and Mike have been dating for 6 years now. I love him with all my heart, and he knows that I really, really want to be married to him. I've always felt like he's the one. We have a similar sense of humor, we've been living together for 3 years, and everything just feels right. My birthday was last weekend, and Mike kept dropping little hints about possibly proposing, like buying me a spa day to give me extra pampering, insisting I get my nails done. I told him before that when he proposed, I'd like my nails done because my pet peeve is really bad nails with a really fancy ring. Shallow, I know, but it is what it is. Well, you are not the only girl that thinks that. And telling me that the night was going to be huge, and he had an amazing gift for me. We went to dinner with our friends that night, and in front of everyone, he made a big show of getting down on one knee and saying the words I've always wanted to hear. How much he loved me, how much he truly wanted to spend his life with me. Then he asked me to marry him. Of course, I started crying and said yes, and that's when he jumped up and screamed, "Just kidding!" His friend had been filming the entire freaking thing as some sort of twisted prank video for his freaking YouTube channel. Oh my gosh. Remember guys, this was posted in 2015, probably the height of terrible YouTube prank videos. I ran out of there. I couldn't handle it and I couldn't stop crying. I feel so disrespected, and the worst part is he doesn't even understand why. He says that he gave me a nice party and brought me a great gift, so I should lighten up over one little prank. I told him that if he published that freaking video, I'd punch him in his throat, and in no certain terms, told him that I felt disrespected, humiliated, and devastated by what he'd done to me. He told me to stop being a drama queen. We've barely spoken to each other since that day, and a couple of hours ago he sent me a text asking me if he should stay somewhere else that weekend. I don't know what to do. I'm honestly thinking about leaving because he seriously thinks what he did to me is funny instead of insulting and disrespectful. I can't think straight. Yeah, that's the thing with these things. Sometimes it's not the actual act itself, it's the reaction afterwards and somebody not realizing that what they did is so wrong. That's actually the really concerning thing, because people can make mistakes in the moment. I mean, this is a bad one, but they can. But if they don't understand why it's a mistake afterwards, then that says something more about their character. Anyway, let's jump into the comments. Somebody said, "You should dump him. He doesn't even comprehend what he did. He doesn't give a trash about your feelings, and he intentionally humiliated you in public for a laugh. I don't see how you could possibly forgive him or ever trust him after this." OP replied, "Yeah, I don't think I'll ever be able to trust him after this. I'm too hurt and so angry. I just can't." Someone else said, "You sure he's 28? Because he's a moron for a 28-year-old. Someone else said, 6 years is a long time, long enough for this guy to have more respect for you. That respect doesn't seem to be there based on what he did. How long will you wait for a proposal? Would you be happy without? For me though, I'm admittedly vindictive. I'd be gone." OP said, "Well, I don't even think I want a proposal anymore." Someone else said, "Text them back, yeah, you need to find another place to stay, permanently. Let him sweat, wondering if that's a prank for a while. That text message he sent you is a passive-aggressive way to force you to apologize for overreacting. It's time to teach this little idiot that there are major consequences for being a total D." OP replied saying, "I texted him to tell him he isn't welcome at the house. He responded with, 'Seriously?' and I haven't answered." Alright, before we get into the update, which came 4 days later, OP added a little bit more information about her boyfriend, saying, "He's always been bullish and headstrong, and he doesn't know when he's gone too far. He never says he's sorry, even when he's wrong. Honestly, we don't fight often, but when we do, it's almost never resolved because we just don't talk about it anymore. I always thought that when you love someone, you accept their bad parts and their flaws too. But when it's so mean and nasty like this, I can't. Yeah, I think there are levels. When someone's bad parts are really not that bad, they just slightly annoy you, that's completely fine. When their bad parts are like really disrespecting you, that's a step too far. Anyway, let's get into the update. To start off, I just want to say thank you. I've gotten so many messages and comments offering me not only support but advice, offering a shoulder to cry on, offering me a person to vent to, you name it. It's seriously awesome. Thank you guys. Sincerely. I never did return Mike's seriously text, and he didn't come home, which made me think that he stayed over at his friend's house. After sleeping on it for a couple of days, I'd already kind of come to the decision to break up. I just couldn't get over what he did, and I didn't think he could get over what he did and how he didn't care about how what he did to me affected me. So my mind was made up. His name is on the lease, so I called my mum and dad to explain the situation and told them I wanted to come home, which of course they said yes to right away. My parents are 150% furious at him. That is a high percentage. I texted his best friend to tell him to tell Mike that I was moving out, and lo and behold, he tells me that Mike hasn't been staying with him. I asked him if he knew where Mike was, and he says he's not sure, but he'll find out and get back to me. I reached out to a couple of our mutual friends, and one that's more of my friend than his did some asking around and found out the truth. It turns out that Mike has been shacking up with the girl he's been cheating on me with for months. There's so many things I could say about this, but sometimes I think silence speaks louder than words. He's been texting and calling me like crazy since he heard I found out. I'm ignoring him. I grabbed my essentials and left back to my parents' house. They're over there today with the movers to remove all my stuff. My dad's a lawyer and he promised to put the screws to Mike about uploading the video. I hope that and any decency he has left in his black heart will stop him from putting the video online. I'm so numb right now. I feel like the world's biggest idiot for loving him and trusting him for 6 years. I probably am an idiot, but I think I'm going to be okay. Thanks again, everyone. Also, for everyone that asked, most of the girls we're mutual friends with are now treating him like trash for what he did. The waitress that night was also horrified and ripped into him and his friend after I left about how effed up what they did was. I'll take the small victories. Alright, a few final comments before I give my thoughts. Someone said, good for you, OP. Cut contact forever and keep moving forward. The ultimate prank on him is that he has to deal with being a terrible person. OP replied saying, well, I hope he realizes what this prank cost him one day. That and the cheating, I really can't. I'll always wonder why he couldn't be a man and come to me if he was unhappy with our relationship, but I don't care enough anymore to talk to him and ask. Now this is a really interesting question to end this story on. Somebody said, I'm curious, OP. You dated this guy for 6 years. In hindsight, are there any red flags that show how terrible of a person he truly seems to be? And I like this question because it's something I think about a lot when I read these stories. Surely, if someone is able to do something as ridiculous as this and then not even consider your reaction to it or realize how wrong they are, surely there were signs earlier on in the relationship that this was the sort of person they are. But OP has replied saying, the more I think about it, actually, yes. In hindsight, he was a very selfish person. Every nice thing he did for me was a benefit to himself. I don't remember him ever being selfless, especially in the last year of us dating, even though he had no problems criticizing me and my appearance if I didn't take advantage of presents he offered me. Stuff like getting my hair done and stuff like that. Because that's the thing, like I know it's hard to see in the moment, and obviously there's a lot of love here, but I do feel sometimes like when I look at this objectively and you see an action or an event like this, I do think to myself, did you not see this coming, or is this really that out of character, or have you just not realized that your partner is like this and is capable of doing things like this? Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with that, or maybe when you're actually in the situation it's a lot harder to see this negativity or just ridiculous behavior, but when you step back out of it or when you're not really involved, like we're not, it's a lot more obvious. And maybe I'm being a little bit too logical and sort of objective here, but I don't know, to me it's ridiculous that you couldn't see someone like this doing something like this or acting in this way. But then again, I've not been with this person for 6 years. Anyway, that is going to do it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. 3 stories there. Let me know in the comments down below which one resonated with you the most. I think all 3 of them require your comments, and I think there'll be a healthy discussion in the comments down below. So what you must do now is get involved in that. Don't just go to the next episode. Get involved, look through the comments, and leave yours. If there's advice needed, get in there as well. I'll see you down in the comment section, and I'll catch you on the next episode.